The dining room shimmered beneath the crystal chandelier, the cutlery arranged with military precision. My daughter, Emily, had devoted the entire day to preparing this dinner, her first as a married woman hosting both sides of the family in her new home. And I was the quiet figure at the head of the table, smiling politely, pretending not to notice my son-in-law, Eric, barely glancing in my direction. "Dad, try the roast," Emily said warmly, placing a plate in front of me. I cut a piece, savored it slowly, and nodded approvingly. "Delicious. Just like your mother used to make." Eric gave a faint smirk and lifted his glass. "In Germany," he said, "we prefer our meat less charred." The words seemed harmless at first, but the tone had a subtle sharpness that pierced the laughter around the table. Emily laughed nervously, trying to smooth over the moment. "So, Dad, how's retirement treating you?" she asked. I sipped my water calmly. "Peaceful. Gives me time to read again." "Read?" Eric raised a brow. "In English, I suppose?" "Mostly," I replied. He leaned toward his brother, visiting from Berlin, and whispered something in German. They chuckled quietly, but I caught every word. What Eric didn't know was that decades ago, I had spent nearly 10 years working in Munich as a translator. I spoke flawless German, and what he whispered, I understood perfectly. He's like an old piece of furniture, nice but useless. I didn't flinch. I just sipped my water, calm as a still lake. I'd met men like him before, polished on the surface, hollow inside, mistaking arrogance for charm and silence for weakness. He assumed ignorance. That was his first mistake. When dinner ended, Emily went to fetch dessert, leaving me alone with the brothers. The air thickened with unspoken tension. Eric leaned back, wearing his familiar smug grin. "So, Mr. Miller," he said, "how's the simple life?" I smiled faintly. "Simple is good. Less noise. Fewer masks." "Masks," he echoed. "The ones people wear when they think no one notices," I said quietly. His grin faltered. Then, in perfect German, I added, "You should be careful mocking old furniture. Some pieces carry more history than you realize." The color drained from his face. His brother's eyes widened. I leaned forward, calm but unwavering. "I worked in Munich while you were still in diapers. I hear everything you say." The room went silent. Eric tried to laugh it off. "It was just a joke," he stammered. "Yes," I said evenly. "But jokes reveal the character of the man who tells them." Emily returned, smiling brightly, carrying a tray of dessert. "Who wants apple pie?" "Delicious," I said, smiling at her. "Let's enjoy it. I think we all learned something sweet tonight." The rest of the meal passed in tense quiet. Eric spoke little, his confidence leaking away like air from a punctured tire. When it was time to leave, Emily hugged me tightly. "Dad, thank you for coming. I'm so glad you and Eric are getting along." I chuckled softly. We understand each other perfectly now. Eric extended his hand, avoiding eye contact. "Good night, sir." "Good night, Eric," I replied gently. Respect is the best language. He nodded, understanding that this lesson wasn't about words, it was about character. A few days later, Emily called. "Dad, Eric told me everything that happened." "Oh," I replied lightly. "He feels terrible. Said he didn't know you spoke German. He wants to apologize and asked if he could come by this weekend." "Of course," I said. When Eric arrived, he was a changed man, humble, nervous, and carrying sparkling water instead of wine. He extended his hand. "Mr. Miller, I was rude and disrespectful. I'm sorry." I shook it firmly. "Apology accepted. But remember this. One day, you'll be the old man at the table, and your children's spouses will watch how you treat those who came before you." "I understand," he said sincerely. "Good. Now," I added with a faint smile, "about your German pronunciation." He laughed softly. "Maybe you could teach me." "Gladly," I said. Lection 9. Respect begins with listening. That evening, we sat together repairing the old clock in my study, the one that had ticked through Emily's childhood. As the clock chimed softly, I realized something profound. Wisdom doesn't always roar. Sometimes it speaks gently, through patience, understanding, and quiet words. And as Eric listened, truly listened, I saw respect grow in his eyes. Maybe he finally understood. Kindness is not weakness. It's strength tempered with restraint. And sometimes, all it takes to humble a man is a few calm words, spoken in the language he never expected you to know.